Hello students, welcome to my this video class, and today you will be hearing about the chapter 1, the revision part of this geography, and the title of this chapter is our environment. So we will talk about this our environment. Now, as I have already discussed about the political chapters in a few days, and you perhaps have already gone through reading and learning yourself for the first and second unit test that is coming forth. So I just urge you that whatever the revision is taking place in this few days, kindly all of you put your heart and soul and make sure that every bit of things study accurately, and then you perform your exams as much as possible, the best one. Okay, so that is actually I expect from you, all of you try your hard. And there are many of the students, perhaps I am just observing and right from the live class the moment we have began, but many of the students are not coming in the live, so hardly maybe 20 and sometimes 17, 18, something like that students are joining. So if that is the case, then perhaps you may not be able to get what exactly we are speaking, what we are delivering during the class hours. So not only the the SST class, but there are many other subjects which is the teachers actually taking pain and imparting you. But it is your part, or can say that from your negligence, maybe you are not that much trying. And there are many of the students are up to now, they are not aware that there is an exam, and they are still roaming around, and they are how far they are care about their studies, perhaps God knows, because they are taking the advantage of this moment. So if you are taking the advantage of this moment, your life will be always in a trouble in a later period. So you have to be very careful. So follow the timing, follow the timetable, and follow the class which is actually imparted by the different class teachers and also the subject teachers. Okay, so this is I urge from my side especially. So today, as we have already learned in my previous classes and all, and in the YouTube also you have this class, but today I will be just talking about our environment especially, and we will be talking about mostly about the natural environment. Now, under this natural environment, we have the four, that is the realm. That is number one is a lithosphere, the second is a hydrosphere, third one is a atmosphere, and the fourth one is a biosphere. And along with that, we will be talking about the human environment in this chapter. So anyway, the word environment in fact is derived from the French word. So you have to understand why these particular words are not exactly derived from the English word or maybe English term, but these are all from the different languages, different in a different even in the dictionary you see that different words are actually used from the different languages, and its meaning is giving to us, and this particular meaning is actually referring about the different areas of the nature. So today the word environment, when we talk about, the French word actually is speaking about the environner. So this is the word which is actually derived from the French word, and which means actually surround. Now surround, when we talk about, it means not only our car and buildings and all, but here it is surround means what? The animals, the plants, the water, the soil, and the environment that we are actually living in, especially like atmosphere. So these are all actually surrounds. So ultimately, we have to talk about the environment, and then we will be talking about everything, especially like human beings, plants, animals, land, water, air, actually, which is actually surrounding us. So this is the environment. So let us talk about our environment and the classification of the environment. Now see, when we classify the environment, we will find the two categories of the environment. That is, one is a natural and the second one is a human. So natural is a, how we can talk about the natural. Now, when we talk about the natural environment, you see there are physical and biological part or elements we can see in this area. So especially like a physical environment actually includes here the non-living, that is a abiotic components such as like a land, air, water, and you can see some other like things and all existing. And a biological environment, when we talk about here, we can see biological, in fact we can call about it biotic or maybe the living beings. So here this biotic components such as like humans, then you can see the plants, animals, and also microbial organisms are also seen, which is actually through the binoculars or maybe the microscopes. Alright, so now actually all this total area is actually we can call it like a domains. Okay, so there are four domains or the realms of the earth we can talk about. So number one is let us talk about the lithosphere. So lithosphere is what exactly? Now you know the uppermost of this layer actually known as the lithosphere, which is a very hard in the sense that is not hard, but it is the part of the like soil and also the rocks. So it is a lithosphere. Now it is also known as the crust in a what call in the geographic language we can call it like a crust. So we have talked about the crust and all when we talk about the different layers of the earth. So it includes the continents and the ocean basins especially, and about 71% of the total area of the lithosphere is covered by water. So you have to remember 71% of the area is covered with the water, and it consists of many landforms such as like mountains, plains, and plateaus. So in this lithosphere only these are the things are actually found. So therefore these landforms can be found on the land surface as well as on the ocean floor even. So it is not only the landform, but even the ocean is also as a part of that. It means where there is a ocean water, it means there below you can see there is a even rock or the lithosphere is available. Alright, so the lithosphere is very important for us. So in what way it is important for us? So let us know about the two regions basically. So first region is actually the lithosphere actually consists of rocks and minerals which are actually very much useful to us today. The country is on the process of development or on the side of the development or increasing the development part in the country. It is because this part is available. It may say minerals and the rocks available. Therefore from here the scientists and the intelligent people, engineers are actually trying to extract the things and all, and then the country is towards the progress. So second is the reason is why it is important. Second reason that it provides land for building houses, roads, factories, and also soil for agriculture, of course. Otherwise we can't sustain only with the forestry product that we have got. So therefore these are two regions basically we can talk about lithosphere. So second part we will talk about the hydrosphere. Now you know what is the meaning of the hydro. Hydro is a water. Now this particular hydrosphere actually divided into three three forms we find usually. So the first form we find about the solid, which is a glaciers, especially when we look at the glaciers especially in the mountain region and all. So very much thickly the glacier is formed. Even in the Antarctica also this glacier is formed very thickly, big rocks, you know, okay, solidly. So and the second part is about the liquid. Liquid we know that about the water bodies where there is a water means we can able to see it through our we can feel also everything. So it means a liquid and it means a water bodies, and this water body is found even in the underground also. So not only in the open, but even in the underground also water is there, which is actually drawn by the different means of like motors, and then we are trying to get the water. Alright, so this actually the third form is about the gas. It means a gas. When we took look there, it means this gas is actually water vapor, which is found in the atmosphere basically. So these are three forms actually of the water is available in the earth. So this is the hydrosphere. So let us know about the constitute. Let's see. They constitute the hydrosphere. That is a water remains in a continuous circulation in the earth atmosphere system, and this is known as the water cycle. Of course, we have read about in many classes, and that is I'm not going to repeat again and again the same thing. So you know what is exactly the term water cycle. Alright, now why this hydrosphere is important for us? Regions, some of the reasons we will be coming to know. So number one, it supports all forms of life on earth. You must remember, actually hydrosphere is there, therefore it is due to this actually all the existing living beings are up to now surviving because of the heavy what called the contribution of the water. Otherwise, the living beings is not going to survive any longer. However, there is a nature, but water is the main. So therefore, and the second part, how this water body or the hydrosphere is helping. Second one is it is used for domestic agricultural and industrial purposes. Today we are growing the crops. It is not that only the sunlight is required, but at the same time water is required. And so water is actually one way actually helping the plants to grow better and getting the root into deep soil. Okay, then another area is industrial purpose. Today industries are also running. If there is no water, if there will be no water, then certainly the industry also is not going to run only with the electricity, because the electricity also actually generated from the water. Especially we have learned about the hydroelectricity. Okay, so that is the second the reasons. Third reason, it provides us with the food and minerals. So hydrosphere is one way is helping us to get the food and also the minerals from here. Then again, fourth points or the fourth regions, it moderates the climate of the coastal areas. So hydrosphere is there, therefore the climate is actually moderate, and it is making the balance about the earth. It means whenever there is earth is heating up due to the sunlight, extreme sunlight, but this hydrosphere water body actually making the things to be balanced, to cool down. Okay, however it is very much having the big contribution. So then the last point is it also serves as a international trade routes. Today, for example, we are heavy goods are actually supplied not through the only aeroplane, but through the ship and boat and like that, steams, engines, many other things through different means of transportation in the water actually brought, and that's why we have the international route, international deal, international business, trade and all is going on today, and country is towards the progress. So this is one of the very important for us. Alright, next we will talk about the atmosphere. Now what is exactly the atmosphere? Now when we talk about the atmosphere, you have to understand that how this atmosphere is actually helping us to grow. Now see, the mixture of gases, the mixture of gases that actually surrounds the earth is called the atmosphere, and the most abundant gases found in the atmosphere are nitrogen. Now you see the nitrogen, why it is important. Now for example, any plant is growing, if there is no nitrogen, the plant will not get the fertility, and if the fertility is lacking, the plant is not going to grow and it will die soon. So therefore nitrogen is one of the gases which is very much actually helpful for the plants. So we will come to know about the reason later on. Okay, then you can see that nitrogen we have got in this atmosphere around 78%. Then we have the oxygen 21%. Okay, and then the remaining gases such as carbon dioxide, ozone, argon, hydrogen and helium, these are the gases are actually we have got constitute only 1% of the atmosphere. It means in this atmosphere we have these are the gases at least 1% each. Okay, and then again you will find that the gravitational pull of the earth holds the atmosphere around it. Now you must remember the very important thing, the gravitational pull, whatever the gravity we have got in this earth, actually this gravitational pull of the earth actually holds the atmosphere around it. So it is a just pulling it to the area where it is not going anywhere. Otherwise, whatever the water vapor is going, perhaps after some distance, it will disappear to some other planet and all. So it is because of the gravitational pull trying to hold the this what called different the things are taking place in this atmosphere. So that's why today we are getting the rain. Okay. Alright, so the changes in the atmosphere cause changes in a weather and a climate. So let us take the some of the important reasons why this atmosphere is important. So number 1 point we have to understand that nitrogen is essential to maintain the fertility of the soil, as I have already mentioned. Second point, oxygen is necessary for the survival of the human beings. So not only human beings, even the animals even. And then carbon dioxide is necessary for the survival of plants. Today, you know, the gas actually very important. Like nitrogen is to increase the fertility of the soil for the plants, and then carbon dioxide also for the plant to to grow. And then you see the ozone protects us from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. You must remember, ozone also helping us to get the it means to helping us from the ultraviolet light, which is very much danger. Because of this, ozone is trying to protect this light. Otherwise, we will burn. The earth will get into ashes. So that is the things we have to know about it. Okay. So these are the few reasons. Next, we have got the biosphere. What is a biosphere? You know, the narrow zone of the lithosphere, hydrosphere, and atmosphere meet and then indirect is called the biosphere. Now today when we talk about the biosphere, it means today we are alive, today animals is alive, today microorganisms are alive. Why? Because this three is constituted, especially like a hydrosphere, then a lithosphere and atmosphere. This combination of these three actually making the life to sustain, life to exist in this earth. So that's why. So it means the word biosphere comes from the Greek word or Greek term, that is from the bios, meaning is a life, and the Latin word actually what's saying Latin word sapura, so meaning total range. Okay, so remember. So living beings ranging from the microscopic organisms to huge animals, plants and human beings exist only in the biosphere, and this great variety of life on earth is called biodiversity. So let us talk about the reasons why this biosphere is important for the earth. So there are two ways we can understand about this biosphere. So number one is producers. Okay, so these organisms produce their own food directly from the environment. For example, plants, they are also known as the autotrophs. So plant is very important, which is creating the food for the living beings. And then second is consumers. Now what is the consumers? These organisms depend on plants and animals for their food. For example, human beings and animals, and they are actually known as the heterotrophs. So these are two things we have to understand about the biosphere. It means producers is there and also the consumers. So this way these things are functioning. Now we will talk about the ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Now see, all living beings, plants and animals, you have seen, especially human beings, are actually interdependent on each other, and they also depend on their immediate surroundings. You know, today I am, you, and you know, there are many of the living creatures are actually depending on this plants. So therefore what happens, you know, we look for the immediate surrounding which is available for us at a closest distance. And then the relationship between living organisms and the relationship of living organisms with their surroundings is referred to as an ecosystem. So today we are able to survive because the surroundings are helping me to get my needs. Okay, especially food or whatever the this gas or air or heat, whatever it is making me to survive because around it is available. So I am living in this ecosystem. Okay. Alright, the size of an ecosystem varies greatly, and it can be as small as a pond or as large as the forest. So most of the ecosystems are actually, complex. They contain thousands of interacting species. Today, suppose a human being alone can't survive if many things will be not surrounding around it, is it not? So today human beings are surviving because something is surrounding around it, and then he is getting or she is getting according to her needs, and she is or he is fulfilling. So that is the way how they are living. So therefore you have to understand about this one. So they contain thousands of interacting species around this the human beings. Okay, and next we have got a human environment. So human environment, of course, that the human environment is formed by humans themselves, and it includes their creations, activities, and other conditions such as a social, economic, and political in which they live. So this is the human environment, how they are living. So early humans used to live in the natural environment, and they had adapted themselves to their surroundings. So they led simple lives, and their needs were actually limited. But with the passage of the time, you see that human beings have been knowledge themselves. They acquired many things about them, and then they learn about how they can survive and how they can be. More and more things came into contact, and then they learned to interact each other, and then they started making their life comfortable, easy, and protective. This way they started living. And today, so many species of animals and birds have become extinct because human beings actually gradually started misusing and exploited the natural environment. Therefore, most of the urban setup, you see only the town and cities are available, but you won't see the trees and ponds and lakes and mountains, anything like that. Okay, so therefore people are in the trouble right now. So overpopulation has also been one of the reason, and industrialization also has increased, and all this actually causing the environmental pollution to such an extent that its repair is getting beyond the power of the nature. So today nature is not able to adjust. Nature is not able to adjust, and as a result of that, unseasonally rainfall, unseasonally earthquake, unseasonally flood, and many other natural calamities is occurring. So that is the way. So today the world is facing serious environmental problems, and scientists are actually trying to find out the solution. But as responsible citizens, we must actually protect the environment by reducing the activities that cause harm to the environment. So this is very important, you and me to do. Okay. So students, so with this small details, I'm just leaving. So you read through and you repeat this video to watch again, and you can get properly. Okay. So thank you.